Today we're going to do a little DIY project. I'm taking two simple glass vases and turning them into faux ceramic terracotta vases. I found my vases at my local Goodwill store. I think I paid under $4 each for them, and I grabbed my terracotta color paint at Hobby Lobby. I think that was like $1.59 or something like that. They always have that on sale, but anyways, you can find the acrylic paint at any craft store. If you can't find the terracotta color, you can go ahead and mix together brown, orange, and white, and that will create the terracotta color. Onto a paper plate, because I like easy cleanup, I went ahead and added my paint, and then to the paint I added 1 teaspoon of baking soda. The baking soda is going to add a little gritty look to the paint, and then that's what gives the textured finished look to what was once a smooth surface. There were so many things about this project that I absolutely loved. First of all, it's been a while since I've been in the craft room to create something, so that was kind of enjoyable to be able to get the paintbrush out and start painting something and creating. But one of the things that I love about this is it's easy to customize this to fit your style just by simply changing the color of the paint. If you don't want a terracotta color, you want a cream, then use cream paint and then mix it with baking soda. Another way to make this more customized to your liking would be with the texture itself. If you want your finished look to have a lot of texture, then just go ahead and add in more baking soda into that paint. If you want your surface to have less texture, then just use less baking soda. I do recommend that you start with a clean surface, whether it be washing it with soap and water or using rubbing alcohol. I did wash both of my vases with soap and water before I started painting them. I wanted my vase to have that texture all over it. So the opening of my vase, I went ahead and painted around the rim of that opening, and then I went down inside a little bit, not very far into the vase itself, but if somebody was to walk up to this vase and look at it, they would think that it was actually ceramic. Then I let that first coat set and dry for about 10 minutes. I probably should have waited a little bit longer because there was still some spots that was a little wet, and as I was painting my second coat, those spots kind of came off a little bit. My second coat, I did come in with 2 teaspoons of baking soda to give it a little bit more textured look. Even though I wanted the vase to have a textured look, I still wanted it to have a nice, clean, smooth surface. So as I worked an area, I kind of went back over it a couple times just to kind of make sure that it was smooth. Sometimes I would add more paint, sometimes I would use less paint. Once I had the whole vase covered with the second coat of paint, I went back around the whole vase with my paintbrush just to kind of smooth out any areas. I did have a couple spots that, because they were still wet, that came off as I was painting them, but on my paper plate there was a couple areas that had a little bit more of the baking soda in the paint, so I just took that paint and kind of globbed it on a little bit and then smoothed it out, and it seemed to work really well. Once I had that first vase completely painted, I went ahead and put that over to the side and let that dry and started working on my second vase. My second vase, I wanted it to be lighter in color than the first one. So onto my paper plate, I went ahead and added my terracotta color. I think I used almost a whole 2-ounce bottle of that terracotta color. To that color, I added a little bit of white. I mixed that up and decided it wasn't going to be light enough. So I come back in with a lot more paint and mix that all up, and then added in 2 teaspoons of my baking soda, because this one I wanted to go ahead and have that extra texture right away. And I decided once I had that all mixed up that it was probably a little bit too light for me, so I brought back in a little bit more of that terracotta color, mixed that all up really well, and started painting, and I ended up with the perfect color and the perfect texture that I was after for this second vase. So once I had the vase covered with the first coat of paint, I let it set and dry for about 10 to 15 minutes before I come in with my second coat of paint. Just like the first vase, I made sure to get the inside of the opening and then the outer edge of the opening. It just gives a nice finished look to the vase. Then I let both of the vases set for 24 hours before I use them to style my console table in the foyer. Since I was using these inside the house, I didn't seal them with anything, but if I would have been using these outside, or if I do this for a project that is intended to be outside, I definitely will use a clear sealant on them. That way they're protected from the elements. So once these had 24 hours to dry, I got to do the fun part. Well, the second fun part of the project anyhow, and use them to style my console table in the foyer. So if you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you have not yet subscribed, we would love to have you as a subscriber to A Decorative Home. Then go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we upload new videos.